8 years ago or so, I was in Vancouver, Gastown. I was walking down. I think it was kind of raining a bit, kind of near MIA, if you remember that one.
I do, yeah.
And
Formerly Shine Nightclub. I remember those days.
It's been quite a few things, I feel like.
Yeah, that sort of like switched names a few times for sure.
100%. But I said, what's up to you? And you were like, yo, it's good. Shook my hand, dapped me up. So, real one. Appreciate it.
No problem, man. Good to finally reconnect.
Hell yeah. So my first question is, when you were on the way out of Said the Whale, what kind of encouraged you to go into electronic music? Hey, if you're liking this content, the best thing you could do to show your appreciation is to throw us a like. It's free, it takes 2 seconds, and it really helps us and the people that come onto the channel. And if you want to see more videos like this, throw us a sub, and then you'll be able to catch all of our new videos. Now back to the video.
Well, I mean, when I was playing in Said the Whale, which was my first band I ever really toured in, I was playing bass, and I sort of felt a desire to do more. Like, I wanted to write my own music and explore creating something bigger than just writing bass lines and you know, being part of the band. And I think that I first tried starting to sing. Mm-hmm. That didn't work. I have a very terrible singing voice. So from there, the natural progression was like, okay, well, I'm seeing all these people who I love. Like, at the time, I was a big fan of Kaytranada, and Kaytranada was just, you know, making bangers on a laptop. So I made it my goal to just save up as much money as I could, get the first laptop I could get my hands on, and start producing on the road. So I was making beats in the back of the van while I was touring with Said the Whale for a while.
Dope. And then, well, Kaytranada is more of a different style than what you're producing. So were you starting with kind of like the trap vibe, or was it something else?
Yeah, I mean, if you listen to my old music, it was actually more in line with the style of music that Kaytranada was producing.
Yeah.
And that's something I realized recently when I was listening to my more recent music. I was like, damn, like, I actually kind of like don't fuck with this, you know. And I started listening to my old shit, and I was like, you know, I kind of want to get back to doing that, and start drawing on my early influences again, like Kaytranada and Burial and all these sort of like lo-fi, more groove-centric producers. Yeah, I feel like I sort of lost my way as a producer a bit. From the beginning of my journey until now, somewhere along the line, something changed.
Yeah, I guess it's just like, well, there's a lot of pressures from touring, and then you kind of get locked into a certain thing, and then it works. And then I guess now, after all this time, it's probably easier to kind of push yourself in a different creative direction.
Yeah, definitely. If I think back to when I started and the reasons that I started producing, it was just for the pure joy of the art, right? And that wasn't my main source of income. It wasn't making music. So I felt creatively free every time I made music. And the more and more that I saw success, and the more I started to see music as a job rather than as a hobby, I feel like I compromised my artistic vision quite a bit.
I feel like that happens to a lot of people.
It happens to so many people.
Yeah, at all levels too, because it doesn't really take much to be pressured into doing whatever path that
definitely
is.
not. And you know, when you start playing festivals, when you graduate from playing the small clubs to playing for bigger crowds, and you start seeing what kinds of songs go off at festivals, you know, all of these intrusive thoughts sort of change the way that you create 100%.
So going back to when you first started producing, what were kind of the thoughts when you opened up the software?
I don't think I had thoughts, and I miss that. I miss not having thoughts. It was more so just a playground. Like, I open up Ableton and I'm just excited, like a kid at Christmas to bust open the new sample pack I got and start creating. I didn't really think much, and now when lately I've been hitting a bit of a creative block, and I think it's mostly because I've started to overthink.
Yeah, being one of the few artists that I feel like has like a really diverse band background as well as a DJ background, which one do you think has a more hectic lifestyle?
Being in a band, 100%.
Why is that?
I mean, I guess both are hectic for different reasons.
Yeah.
But when you're playing as a producer DJ, you don't really have to bring any of your equipment with you. You just show up with a couple of USBs and your headphones, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And you only have to deal with your own bullshit. You don't have to deal with anybody else's bullshit.
Yeah.
But when you're in a band, you've got multiple other people, that, you know, personality dynamics to navigate. And on top of that, you're sharing hotel rooms, and every night you're loading in, loading out so much gear, drum kits, amps, guitars. You have to sound check. You got to make sure that the sound guy is getting everything right. So it's a much more complicated process being a band member than it is being a DJ. However, I will say the nightlife aspect of being a DJ can complicate things as well. It's a very enablest industry, being a producer DJ.
Yeah, what are some of those?
I mean, touring nonstop, playing shows all the time, and the lifestyle of going out to clubs and having people drinking and doing drugs all around you. It's hard not to fall into that cycle yourself.
Do you feel like there's creatively, was there kind of like a camaraderie that you missed when you went into the solo aspect of things? Because it's obviously liberating.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I look at DJ duos and DJ trios, and often I feel a little bit jealous because at times being a solo act is very lonely. And it's easy to get in your head about things when you've got no one to bounce your thoughts off of and your ideas off of.
I feel that. Well, one of the highlights was when Drake sampled your track.
Yeah.
So at that point, was there ever a thought like, maybe I should just be a hip hop producer?
I've thought about it before, for sure. I mean, that whole opportunity kind of came out of nowhere for me. I made my first ever track. It was called Unfaith. And I released it, I think it was just through DistroKid. I just put it out. And from what I understand, Drake's camp just found it on SoundCloud, ripped it, sampled it, put it in a track.
Yeah.
And then one day I just, I was living in my mom's basement at the time. And I got an email with Party Next Door singing on top of my track from one of Drake's lawyers. And it was like, hey, we used your song. And at first I didn't even believe it, But I definitely have thought about diving a bit more into rap production. But I never lost my vision from the beginning, which was just to create a project that came straight from my heart that was music for me.
Yeah.
Yo, what's good? If you're liking this content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Rose Motion TV. Now back to the video.
Now maybe I feel like maybe it would be good for me to dive a bit more into producing for other people.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying that quite a bit now, but in the moment I was very focused on the Ekali project and getting that off the ground.
100%. So where are you kind of pushing yourself right now? Like what kind of sounds are interesting you?
I'm really loving dark, garagey sort of beats music rather than making super in-your-face EDM like I have for the past few years, or the super polished sort of future-based stuff, which I now find pretty corny. Honestly, like I mentioned earlier, I'm sort of going back to my roots.
Yeah.
And the future beat stuff and the UK garage type vibes, something like that.
I find it so interesting that as artists, you can you push yourself in one direction. You usually start somewhere, and it's funny how later in life you kind of end up back in that same spot.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, and most of it is just perspective, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not like I changed as a person. It's just my perspective changed over time. And after 4 years of going down a different path, you sort of have to slap yourself in the face and be like, wake up, and that's sort of the process I'm going through right now. And it's sort of like a rediscovery.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's interesting because back in the day, there used to be set genres, it was future bass or trap, but now so many things kind of get blended in all aspects of music, whether that's Taylor Swift or Skrillex. There's so much fusion that I feel now it's kind of you could I feel you're kind of more free to do whatever because it's there's not a trend as much.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely certain trends that are still occurring. I don't think that'll ever change. Especially when you see, for instance, UKG happening out in the UK, right?
Yeah.
The same thing happened with dubstep back in 2008, 2009, and then America takes these cultures from other countries and sort of makes it their own.
Yeah.
And it sort of feels like a cheap, bastardized version of it. So in that sense, I think that, the trends will never stop happening. But you're right in the sense that it's a bit more abstract now. You can kind of do whatever you want. I feel like it's really opening up sonically the music industry.
I feel it's also harder to tell when something was made, after, because I feel at a certain point it's okay, this is a song from the 80s, this is a song from the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, there certain production things you can definitely tell Like
Yeah.
if you hear like a 2011 dubstep track, like you hear that same exact snare in every track. You hear the same massive presets. You're like, okay, this is probably an older track.
Yeah.
And they're also, you know, people are way better at mastering now, mixing now in electronic. So, yeah, I feel like it's just technically evolving.
Yeah.
But you're right in the sense that the newer sounds that are coming out and becoming more popular now sort of come from the past.
Yeah.
It's sort of cyclical, and
Yeah.
it always goes back to like classic house and classic dubstep, you know.
Straight up. So outside of music, what are you into doing?
I skate, I skateboard,
Oh, word.
I snowboard. I need to get back into skating though. It's been a minute. I work out. That's sort of it, man. Like I just make music and vibe.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Have you, like, I guess skateboarding has always been a thing. Has working out always been a thing, or is that a newer thing?
No. I mean, I worked out infrequently throughout my career, but more recently, it was over the last couple of years. I realized that like the years of touring and the abuse that I had inflicted on my body were taking its toll. So
Yeah.
it was more so like, okay, it's time for me to take care of myself because I want to live a long, happy life.
I feel you. So what kind of advice would you give to some of like the newer DJs? Because it's really tempting to kind of get into the party scene, and it's almost inevitable to like have encounters with it. So what could you say to them to kind of steer them in a better direction?
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on like what, as a young producer, you want to achieve. Like to any young producer who wants to just like be the biggest DJ in the world and play big festivals and make a lot of money, like I don't have very much advice to offer those people.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that would be like, you know, make a reel every day, make a TikTok every day, and like, you know, it's all brand stuff. And if I'm being honest with you, that's just not. I don't really understand it, and I'm not really a part of it. Like if you look at my social media, like blowing up off reels and blowing up off TikTok, is it's not a priority for me. I would rather just be myself and take space for me, and maybe go up on a slower trajectory. But for all the young artists who want to do this because it's what they love and it comes from the heart, or they have an insatiable need to create, my advice would be to put the horse blinders on, block out all the noise, focus on your craft, and make sure that you make what you want to make, and make sure that you keep that perspective front in your mind, and don't let anybody take that away from you. Don't let the hype, don't let anything distract you from creating exactly what it is that you want to create.
100%.
And if you get good enough, if you just put all your time into production and get insanely good at producing, the success will follow. Because if your music's good enough, people will hear it.
100%. Who are some of the artists that you kind of looked up towards when on your way up?
K-Tronada was a big one for me.
Yeah.
Burial was another one for me. I was obsessed with Burial. Do you know Burial?
Yeah.
I had Untrue on vinyl, and I was just listening to it like all the time, constantly. Burial, Fortet, Flume was a big one.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have the mainstays in EDM, like Skrillex eventually became one of my biggest inspirations. But yeah, it all started with K-Tronada and Burial and Flume. Those were the three big ones for me.
And then, now that you're one of the artists that people are looking up towards, what started your vibe for the label?
Yeah, so my label is called Awakening Records, and basically the idea is to provide a home for good art, regardless of the artist's size, where they're from, their background.
Yeah.
We accept all different people from all different genres, and we just want to put out good music from good people. That's our entire mission statement.
All right, quick break. We've got to tell you about the freshest thing we've got right now, our official Rose Motion band tees.
Yeah, it's the one you've probably seen us wearing at shows. Super soft, perfect fit, and honestly, it makes you like 27% cooler.
Facts. And every shirt helps us keep making the music and moments you love.
So if you're listening right now, hit the link below, grab yours, and rep the motion.
Rose Motion.
Wear the vibe. Are there some new like projects that are like coming out that you can talk about?
Yeah, for sure. Well, Awakening Compilation 1 came out last year.
Okay.
And we're just wrapping up Compilation 2 right now. So my fiance, she does all the artwork for the compilation. So
Cool.
right now she's finishing up the artwork for Compilation 2. We have almost all of the masters in right now. and that's hopefully going to be releasing in just over a month.
Sweet. And do you look at it kind of from a new lens now? Like, do you have a kind of a different perspective now that you're not the artist, you're the label owner?
Most definitely. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of myself in a lot of these younger artists, you know. I've been through some experiences in my career where, like, you know, I put these artists on a pedestal, maybe a bit too much, and it really ended up burning me. So I want to make sure that whoever I'm signing to the label, I end up being a positive part of their journey as an artist, and making sure that I do well by them. So it's definitely given me a different perspective, and I find it more gratifying than releasing my own music sometimes, honestly.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, labels can be like pretty intense, and I mean, they're out for themselves a lot of the time. So it's cool to have like the artist perspective while you're trying to put out other people's music.
Yeah, I mean, signing to labels is a really tricky business.
Yeah.
You know, I signed to a major label back at the peak of my career, and it was one of the biggest mistakes I ever made. So I really want to make sure that somewhere in this space, you know, we might not be the biggest label, we might not be able to, you know, push you as far as some of the bigger boys out there, but at least when you sign with us, we're treating you fairly and you know everything that's happening behind the scenes.
Would you say the mistake was because of like lack of creativity, or like what did you not like about it?
What I didn't like about the record deal I signed is that I didn't really understand what I was signing with the contract. And this isn't to say that every label practices what the major labels do, but my deal was with a major label, and I didn't fully understand the piece of paper I was signing meant that I would pretty much never see royalties from my music. So if you look at my entire catalog, I mean, 95% of the music I've put out is signed to a major label, and I don't get royalties.
Yeah.
Because we accepted an advance, right? And the advance went to my tour bus for my tour, and that was it.
Yeah.
So that was paid for, great. But now I have no income coming from my music. And, you know, if you look back through history, there's a lot of warnings. Prince warned the music industry back in the day.
Yeah.
And it still rings true to today. You need to be very careful what you sign.
Yeah, no, 100%. Well, that's great, though, that you can be more of a light to these younger artists.
I hope so.
Well, it's definitely happening.
Oh, thank you then.
Hell yeah. Well, let's talk about tonight. You're playing at the Velvet Room.
Yeah.
Have you played there before?
No.
Actually,
I'd never even heard of the venue before this show was offered to me.
Now that I'm realizing it, I don't think it's been around that long, or it's been rebranded or renamed.
I think it used to be called District.
Okay. So what can the fans expect?
The fans can expect some brand new music from me. Probably one of the coolest sets I've ever played. And I mean that sincerely. I've been touring for a couple weeks now, and technically, selection-wise, I feel like this is the strongest show I've ever put together. And yeah, just good vibes, good music. And the opener's really sick too, SSOS Music. He's from Vancouver as well.
Oh, word. Vancouver fan. Let's go.
Another awakening artist.
Hell yeah. Well, that's dope. And then you got your artists on the shows too.
Yeah, I try and do that as much as possible. Whenever I have the option available to like bring people who have signed to the label onto my shows with me, it's like a no-brainer. Easy.
Hell yeah. See, this is how you know this guy's a real one.
Making me blush.
Hell yeah. How long are you playing for tonight?
90 minutes.
And is that your kind of like optimal set length?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like 60 is too short.
Yeah.
75 is a bit awkward. And then 90, you get the full headliner experience where, you know, I get to sort of craft a bit of a journey. If anything, I think 90 is the bare minimum a headliner should be playing.
Yeah, no, 100%. What's the longest set you've ever played?
Oh, I've played for about 8 hours before.
Where was that?
Oh, that was in Germany.
Oh yeah,
I was playing.
I can see that.
I was playing a festival in Germany, and I think that the people who were programming the festival didn't really understand like that I wasn't like a techno DJ or a house DJ where like you get to play one track for 5 minutes and then like slow roll the transition for 2 minutes and slowly tease a synth and stuff. Like I was mixing a song a minute for 7 hours.
Damn.
I think I had a library of like 2,000 songs, and I just freestyled the whole thing.
Hell yeah. And was this all like halftime stuff?
No. I played drum and bass, I played jungle, I played house, I played techno, I played trap, I played dubstep. It was like every genre under the sun. And
I guess you kind of have to in 8 hours.
Yeah, but like my whole idea was like start slow BPM, so start mid-tempo work my way up to like groovy K-Tronada 120 house type stuff, and then slowly into tech house, and then when I hit 130, 135 UKG, and then slowly ramp the BPM up all the way through the set. And I had no idea what to expect, and playing after a techno DJ in like a purist festival where where people are very much so expecting techno and expecting like the Boots House treatment. I thought it would go terribly, but it ended up going really well. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for tonight, what makes it like just so, like, why are you so confident in this one? And how long did it take for you to put this version of your set together?
I mean, it took me about a week to find all the music that's in my set. The way I structure my sets is like I'll have maybe 20 tracks that I know I'm going to play, and then I structure improvisation segments in between. So I'll transition to a different key. I've got like 20 songs that I might play, I might not play. And then when I want to move on, there's like the moment that I know I'm going to do to transition into the next section of the set. So there's like a bit of a plan, but I get to improvise a little bit as well. As for why I feel confident about it, I think it's because I did put a lot of time into preparing.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I've been DJing for 10 years now, and I feel like DJing is a skill set. I've never been better at it. So,
hell yeah. Well, let's wrap it up with, what does the future look for Ekali?
The future of Ekali. I don't really know. Honestly, I wish I had a better answer. I know that I'm going to be putting out a lot of music coming up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be pursuing what we talked about before.
Yeah.
The part of my creativity where it's just freedom of expression and not feeling the pressure. And what that sounds like, we're gonna wait and find out. But definitely going to be touring a lot more, and definitely going to be giving this project my all again after a pretty long hiatus. So
hell yeah. Well, we're all really stoked. This is the man. Thank you so much.
You're the man. Thank you, Malik. Appreciate you, bro.
Thanks for tapping in.
Awesome.